What up, what up, what up? What up, everybody? Yeah, man, here some anime to check out in 2017. Like, real shit. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. Saga of Tanya the Evil is the most savage shit I have watched since 2017 started. Bruh. Bruh. Like, this anime, man, dude. I haven't really been, like, nothing's really caught me like this for the first 2 episodes since, like, 91 Days, man. And speaking of 91 Days, I will do a special video for that one in the future, but throw that to the side. Right now, we're going to talk about the Saga of Tanya the Evil. Now, the first episode in this shit was fucking dope as hell, man. It takes place in the alternative, in an ultimate reality where I want to say it looks like 1940s Germany, maybe a little earlier than that. It looks like it's like post World War I, pre World War II setting in Europe, and like the main protagonist is a small girl who's like, she's like 9 years old, who goes by the name of Tanya. Whatever. I just butchered the last name. Let's just say Tanya. Now, you would think like, okay, this is a war scene. Why is this little girl out here on the battlefield? Well, in this world, magic is a thing. So I want you to take the Order 1886 and mix that shit with Full Metal Alchemist. Magic, baby. Wait, that's a bad analogy. There was no magic in the Order. Okay. Fuck that. Magic plus Full Metal Alchemist. There you go. Just correcting myself. But like the whole anime, it takes off in the first episode where like they're on the front lines of this battle with nations kind of like closing in on it, because they're positioned like Germany, and you have nations on each side of you. And I think there are like two nations that are like just approaching the border or whatever, and their squads are engaging with Tanya's squads, or the army that she's fighting in. And at first I'm like, okay, because whoever directed this episode did some slick shit, because I didn't even know, like, I knew this little chick was going to be a big part of it, but I didn't think she was going to be the main protagonist, like I'm going to get into later on in the video. But, like, you start off with this, like, goofy chick who, like, it looks like she just joined the mage unit or whatever, just to fit in to a degree. But you're basically looking through her perspective of the battlefield, the, like, ups and downs of it, the horrors of it and everything. And it's not until like mid-episode that we get our true introduction to Tanya. And Tanya is the most badass. God damn, man. This is crazy. Like this. She's so OP. She is so freaking OP, man. And it's ridiculous. And I like the way they did the combat in here, because like she engaged the whole squadron by herself. And basically was like, just, man, it's hard to describe, man. You got like this old action bolt rifle that shoots magic bullets, and if it hits you, oh, you either gonna disintegrate or you gonna lose some shit. Either way, you're gonna have a real bad day. And she takes out a whole squad by herself. And like, here's the thing, you don't really get a peek into this chick's personality for real. Like, her personality in the beginning is like her, like, I follow the rules. No exceptions. Everything has, if it has a rule by it, we have to follow it to in order to get a better outcome. That's basically her outlook, not just in like the military, but in life in general. And you think she had some kind of soft side to her, because it was a moment in the first episode that she was talking. Her and her subordinates were having words with each other. They disagreed on certain tactics, and just to summarize everything up, it looked like she was getting ready to decapitate them. And yes, I said decapitate. A little 9-year-old girl about to decapitate 2 grown ass men. But that's not what happens. And to everybody there, they believe it's just like, oh, she's just being hard on them because they're young, they're brash, they're ready to prove themselves. She's trying to stop them from committing stupid ass mistakes. Okay, cool. I even came to that assumption. But like towards the end of the anime, when you just see Tanya and all her badassery go to work on enemy platoons and everything, there's gonna be something that happens at the end. You're gonna be like, well, damn, that's kind of messed up. That's a messed up coincidence, and it has to do with the two subordinates she was talking to earlier. Now, at that moment, that's when you start getting the peek into this chick's true personality, and that's what pulls me in to be like, wait a minute, I think this character is a little more complex than what I was writing off as. Okay, now I'm really into it. I gotta know more about this character because she has piqued my interest. Like, you've already got me interested in the setting, and like it's like pre-World War II or World War II actually in an alternate setting. But now you got like a little kid who's like high up in the military ranks, and nobody knows how she got there based off the first episode. We're just like, okay, man, this kid has to be just really special. You didn't really think OP until you like actually went through the episode. Now, moving on from episode 1 to episode 2, this is where like it gets kind of like fleshed out. This is like what caused all this to happen. And episode 2 is named appropriately the prologue. Now, during this prologue, there's a little I don't know if fuck it. Spoiler. During the prologue, you see Tanya before she became Tanya. And what I mean by that is that they effectively turned this anime into a reincarnation anime. And that's one of the things I like. I was like, I'm pretty into the reincarnation animes as of yet, since they are a hot topic, and there are a few stories that keep me really entertained. You know how certain stuff can like turn you off if it's like saturated too much, but I'm all right so far. But I like how they spent it for this anime. Now, granted, it would have been cooler if this had nothing to do with reincarnation, and this was just like, this is back. This is straight reality. This is it. There was no second chance to give it to this person. But I digress. The Tanya was originally a salaryman. Not just a salaryman. He was a salaryman hired by corporations to go around and fire employees who were not living up to company standard. And like, when you see correlations for episode 1, how she strictly follows rules, protocols, and procedures, and is worried about like, am I gonna get this raise? I wonder how high I'm gonna get up in the ranks if I pull this off. Yada yada. Same aspects of a businessman's personality. Now, here's the thing: how this cat gets reincarnated is kind of funny because he had it coming. Yeah, he had it coming. I was about to say he had it coming, but he didn't have it coming. Nah, he kind of had it coming because I think he was known for firing like hundreds of employees. Employees, like, they had a scene where he was finna fire this guy. He gave him his life story like, man, I gotta pay the house loan, man. My daughter's tuition's coming up. Yada, yada, yada. And at first, he's just like, man, dude, this guy's really a jackass. He's about to throw this cat on the street. But then, when you, like, read the situation, it's like, dude, you've missed work, like, multiple times on multiple occasions, and the company has repeatedly told you to get your shit together. We need you to like get your shit together and perform up to standard, and you have not done that. Therefore, they let you go. And that's in the real world too, man. Like, if you're working a job and you're doing a crappy job, and you're constantly missing work and causing disruptions in the company, of course you're gonna get let go. But on the other side of that, there could have been some times he couldn't have helped it, and like that could have contributed to him getting fired. Yada yada yada. But this guy snaps. He catches old boy lacking at the subway in the transit train station, and you know, clapped him. Then clap him. Pretty much just pushed this man. He pushed him in front of the train. And like one of the coolest scenes in this whole episode happened. It's like, as this cat was falling, like, I'm talking about books flying there, papers everywhere, the trains right there, and, like, time freezes for a split second, and he's basically talking to God. Or so we're told. We effectively label this guy Being X. Now, as he's talking to Being X, he's like basically asserting, he's like, wait a minute, you guy is like, you either two people, you either God or the devil, but I don't think you're either. You're something else, cause he was like, cause God wouldn't let an absurdity like this happen when he hasn't done anything wrong. He's only done his job to this point in his life. He's only done what's necessary for him to survive without even breaking any laws or being a crappy person while being a crappy person. I know it's crazy to say it like that. But the whole conversation, the dialogue between him and Being X, who is like, Being X is basically the one in charge of reincarnation within this world. And he's talking to Being X, and Being X has like effectively given up on him essentially during the dialogue. He's just like, you know what? You're never gonna learn. You're not gonna like change your ways. You don't even think of second chances. You're basically beyond hope. You have no faith at all. And Being X is effectively about to just like let this cat go. But then the protagonist effectively slips up the tongue. He's talking like, he's pretty much talking to his ass like, wait a minute. You gotta think about this rationally, man. You gotta think, you can't judge me based on my personality, because my personality is based on the environment I came up in. Environment where there were needs and I fulfilled those needs. Basically, I lived in comfort in an environment of need and want, and I fulfilled all of those qualifications throughout my life, which allowed me to live in comfort. And like, the thing was like, oh, so the reason you don't believe or have any faith in anything outside of your comprehension is because you've been pampered y'all life, basically. You've never had like strifes. You've never been put in dire situations that required you to go against the grain, and like, not only like, well, you've gotten in situations that haven't required you to test your own faith and everything. And like that's when the main dude was like, wait a minute, hold up now, stop. Chill for a minute. Chill, bro. And like, Being is like, nah, we good. And like, effectively reincarnated this cat in this alternate world. Has not only because he was a man, not only as a little girl, but a little girl in poverty. Jesus Christ, say it right. So he's reincarnated as an orphan little girl, but his upside, his magic capabilities are off the charts. So he's officially an OP character, which to me is fine. I have no problem with OP characters as long as you can write the story good. Like, don't just have like, shit happens, he flies in, yeah. That only works for One Punch Man. Like, One Punch Man is the only exception for like, I'm strong for no damn reason, you can't stop me, I will settle everything in the comedic style. That's the only time that works. But like, he's essentially an OP character without being an OP character in the beginning, because you can see him working his way up to that. I can see him having a few battles where they put it like, they really test him to like the grain, or her to the grain. But just like, watching these dynamics is just freaking great, dude. I have to say, like, anime wise, 2017 has started off great, and they were only 2 episodes into this anime, but I just have a feeling that this is gonna be a great series. I'm really positive. So yeah, man, let me know what you think about like Saga of Tanya the Evil. I really recommend you all go check it out if you have a Crunchyroll account, or I don't know if it's on Funimation now. I've only watched it on Crunchyroll. If you you know what, I'll drop a link to Crunchyroll for you. Like, go and sign up. You get a free 14-day trial, which is pretty dope. But yeah, I'll drop that link in the description. I'll even drop a link to the Anime Network so you can look at the real plot line of the whole. Well, nah, fuck that. I already gave you that. But yeah, man, I want to know your thoughts after you watch it, or if you just want more information, just hit the comment section. You can hit my Twitter. I think yeah, you just hit my Twitter. I correspond on that a lot. And let me know what you think, man. Hope y'all enjoy it like I am enjoying it right now. And I'll keep giving updates, man. I might make this weekly thing after each episodes, and just recap them. This if y'all like, or if I feel like it. So like I said, man, drop a comment down there in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Peace.